As I like to do, I will be playing matches as a character in the background that does nothing at all in the story mode except lose and make the chapter character look good. I figure these guys may need some wins somewhere, and this time it's going to be the Collector. Anyway, good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and today I am continuing my playthrough of Mortal Kombat 11. I am still playing through the base game's story mode, and I just finished the first two chapters in the previous episode. There's actually not too much to recap in this one, so I'm going to try and make it as quick as I can. The key events include that the Thunder God Raiden, he ended up changing the predetermined Armageddon-like future of the Mortal Kombat universe back in Mortal Kombat 9. And roughly 25 years later, the Titan of Time, Kronika, is pretty pissed about how, Raiden has completely screwed up and changed her future, her whole timeline. And that screw up would also include how Raiden ended up decapitating her elder god son, Shinnok. As retribution, she intends to rewrite history entirely to include excluding Raiden from the timeline entirely. But apparently that takes a lot of time though, so she decided to ally herself with villain characters from the present, and she also time traveled a few from the past to the present day in order to help her out. Now, the shifting of characters from across time did some weird things. Some of those things include having two versions of the same character. Also, some characters from the past are in the present now, where their counterparts are dead, like Sonya. And some characters from the present are removed entirely in favor of their past self, like Raiden. Surprisingly, that's all the big stuff you really need to know up to this point. It was mostly just chaos at the end of the last episode, so we could just pick up where the protagonist and antagonist are explaining everything to each other and trying to figure out what exactly is going on, and that's where we're going to figure out exactly what's going on for ourselves. Let's get into it.
Fatality. Collector wins.
You evade my questions, Deborah. I routed your people, burned this hive, yet you aid me.
We can't trust her, Excellency. God Khan did, and she betrayed him to Shinnok.
Kotal Khan. How is it I'm dead and he sits on my throne?
You tried merging Earthrealm into Outworld. The Elder Gods intervened, and Raiden killed you. That's when Melina became Khan.
After this one killed your daughter, Kotal claimed the throne.
You killed Melina? If this is true, you will die!
Deborah is under my protection, Shao Khan. As are you. I am Kronika.
The legends are true?
I am displeased with how history has unfolded.
So you broke time?
I stopped time. I enlist all those who disdain the current course of history. By merging past and present, we may draw upon allies from both eras.
How will fighting your battles benefit me?
I offer a greater empire in the new era, Shao Kahn. Raiden will not exist to thwart you.
You can wipe Raiden from history?
It is an immense task, requiring great power and effort. My hourglass requires protection while I work. Will your Outworld armies defend it?
They shall.
I swear to God, I'm losing it. Can't someone, anyone, explain to me what the hell is going on? Right? I've been in the future for a whole hour and I haven't seen one jetpack. Not one.
So it is true. I walked a darker path.
After Shinnok went down, you became a different person. Red lightning, black clothes, authoritarian attitude adjustment.
Yeah, about that. What happened to Dark You? How come you're an only child and I got an evil twin?
As an immortal, I exist outside the normal laws of time. That could explain why I am affected differently.
Thanks.
Weird, isn't it? Not being in charge.
That's what's weird.
That, and having daughters our age.
Look at her. How do I have a kid? With him?
At least she's not an actress.
Come on, at least think about it. We each get points off the gross. Coming this summer, Johnny Cage and Johnny Cage. In time, Quake.
Any thoughts on what we do next?
For months, I've been receiving vague premonitions of the future, but none of them foretold this. I must confer with the Elder Gods. Liu Kang, kunglao, please assist the Special Forces while I am gone.
Yes, Lord Raiden.
Follow me.
Commander?
Yes, Mom. I mean, General. I mean...
This is strange for me, too.
You have no idea.
What?
How do I say this? This morning, we were on a mission. And you gave your life to save it.
Son of a bitch. Seriously?
Yeah. And now here you are. Young enough to be my sister.
Cass, you need to see this. Sapphies show a Neatherrealm incursion at the Wuxi Academy.
Neatherrealm? Taking out Shinnok's temple was supposed to stop them.
It's gotta be the time anomaly.
We must help our Shaolin masters.
Why would the Neatherrealm want to bust up your alma mater, Liu Kang?
The Dragon Grotto. It's underneath the academy. Earthrealm's Jinsei energy bubbles up in its springs.
That's no good. We've seen firsthand what happens when the Neatherrealm screws with Earthrealm's life force.
They will not reach the grotto. It is protected by powerful magic, the deadliest traps. I am sure our counterparts from your era are already dealing with them.
Kunglao, Liu Kang, you might want to sit down.
I die in the Colosseum. You on a rooftop fighting Lord Raiden. Our future, Liu Kang. It is insane.
Obsessing over it will not change it.
Neither will accepting our destiny as evil undead warlords.
I'm not. But we can't change a future we don't fully understand. Lord Raiden will guide us.
Can we trust him? It appears he got us both killed.
So many Shaolin. They died defending our sacred ground. The Neatherrealm will pay. Whoever came here knew how to disarm these traps.
Do you know how? The monks never taught me.
More likely you did not attend class. Watch for the pattern. And pick your moment.
Easy enough. What's next?
Everything. Poison gas, shooting spears, flame jets.
How about we avoid those? I did not do that.
I did.
Scorpion. Of course you survived the time merger.
You will not stop Chronica from restoring my family and clan.
Can you stop the traps? I learned my lesson fighting you at Shang Tsung's tournament. This time, I am prepared.
Fight.
Alright, that is actually a pretty fun reference. I feel like we're probably going to get quite a few of those in this episode. So kunglao is referencing a previous fight with Scorpion, and that is a reference to Mortal Kombat 9, where the game reimagined the events of the very first Mortal Kombat game. In that reimagining, kunglao snuck into the tournament and then challenged Scorpion in an attempt to prove himself and defend his realm against the opposing team. That fight did not go well for kunglao. He ends up getting humbled and beaten by Scorpion, and kunglao is eliminated from the tournament in a fight that he was not even supposed to be a part of. But that loss did seem to have a pretty significant impact on kunglao. The very next time he was a major part of that story was when he had his own chapter in Mortal Kombat 9, and that was during the reimagined events of the second Mortal Kombat game. There, kunglao was still pretty confident in himself, but much more level-headed. And that is the time frame for which this kunglao was plucked from, and he is now being played by us in this time. So yeah, it is cool seeing him get a rematch against the Scorpion that he lost to from his time. Only now, he is much less rash and much more prepared. So the confidence may be well deserved, as we are going to pilot him to a victory against the person who beat him up before. So the gimmick of this chapter and a few other chapters in this game is to select a character to play as. Here the choices were between kunglao and Liu Kang. Now with most of these multiple choice chapters, one of the characters typically has a chapter later on in the story, and you get to play as them again. Then one character, this is pretty much the only time they get highlighted. And with the gift of hindsight, I am going to choose the character who does not get highlighted later on. In this case, that character is kunglao. Other than a bit of banter between the antagonists that you're going to fight against, your decision on which character to play as really does not change anything. Things play out almost exactly the same regardless of who you choose. But that's alright, we get a little bit of character variety at least, and it's cool to get to play as kunglao again for the first time in 2 games. Hopefully, this time, whenever I'm done playing as kunglao, it does not end with him getting his neck broken by Shao Khan.
I can't stop the traps. The locks have been changed.
Why?
Our plans require that you live.
Jade? What happened to you?
An untimely death. Like yours, due to Raiden's incompetence.
You cannot turn us against him. We know about our deaths. They were caused by our mistakes.
You have been deceived, Liu Kang. The truth is, Raiden murdered you.
Lord Raiden may make mistakes, but he doesn't murder his followers.
Is it not murder to send an ill-prepared warrior to his death? Raiden's mistake cost your life, kunglao.
Fight.
Now, another noteworthy gameplay component in Mortal Kombat 11 is that you can customize the movesets of your character a bit rather than just using preset variations like you were doing in Mortal Kombat 10. Neatherrealm Studios started doing that back in Injustice 2, and it got adapted for this game as well. It gave you just a little bit of customization in the fighting style of your character. Now, there are a few preset default variations that you can pick up initially and just play as they are, but you have the option to also update and modify those movesets to your liking. The reason I bring that up is that Kung Lao's spinning attack is a bit different depending on the version of it that you have enabled. The one I am used to using is not the one being used in story mode. So whenever I use the one that I prefer, a spinning attack would knock the opponent into the air, and then I could use that as an opportunity to just extend my combos. Now the one being used here in the story mode kind of does the same thing, but the timing is different and I'm not used to it, and I am dropping combos as a result of that. So yeah, a bit of sloppy gameplay should be expected, and I probably should have practiced with kunglao before I did this chapter. Fortunately, there is another gameplay mechanic that was introduced in Mortal Kombat 11 that is helping me out quite a bit, and that is the crushing blow mechanic, which turns regular attacks into much more devastating versions of themselves. We got to see that just a moment ago with that major uppercut that I gave Jade.
I like the real you better.
The Dragon Grotto is through there.
What if the next revenants we have to fight are... us?
Then we fight them, kunglao.
Elder gods, I have come to seek counsel. The realms are in crisis.
The crisis is grave indeed, Raiden. Every being will be erased in a temporal Armageddon. Even we Elder Gods. Already our power weakens.
I will fight Cetrion. But how?
You must find Kronika's keep and gain control of her hourglass. Only then will time's momentum be restored.
It will be done.
Speak your mind, Raiden.
Since this time merger, I have learned about my future. That my champions fall. That I become a tyrant. If Kronika is defeated, will I be consigned to this grim fate?
The restoration of time will not predetermine your destiny. That is for you to shape.
Is there any point to us asking you to put those back?
They said you'd come.
Who said?
Who do you think, kunglao?
Welcome to your future. Courtesy of Raiden.
Our future may be tragic, but it's not Lord Raiden's fault. You've both been warped by Shinnok's evil.
Shao Khan snapped my neck in the arena. Raiden saw it coming and did nothing.
I would have defeated Shao Khan, but Raiden wanted the glory. His lightning cut me down.
No, I don't believe that.
One day Raiden will betray you. Then you will believe.
The thought of becoming you sickens me, but I won't blame Raiden.
You owe Kronika. She saved your life by stopping time.
Fight!
Alright, in this mashup of characters across time, this is our very first mirror match. In fact, I think this might be the very first time I've had a mirror match in any of the games I've played so far. Let me think about that one for just a moment. In Mortal Kombat 9, no one in the main roster, well, the roster of characters you play for the story mode, I don't think any of them fight themselves in that game. Then in Mortal Kombat 10, none of those characters have mirror matches against themselves either. So, yeah, wow, okay. This is the first time I've had to fight against the character I was using. That feels kind of weird to me. Mirror matches are kind of a classic part of Mortal Kombat's gimmick. Like in the very first Mortal Kombat game, a mirror match was actually a required part of the tower to beat the game. You'd have to face off against yourself before you'd fight against Goro or Shang Tsung. So it's kind of odd to think that we actually got 2 games in a row that did not require a mirror match at any point throughout the story mode. Like, that's just kind of crazy to me. But yeah, we should pick up a win against our evil twin pretty painlessly. And by painlessly, I mean we are going to land back-to-back fatal blows against each other, and we are going to close out this fight with dual buzzsaws to the face. And even adding to the contradictory statement of saying this is going to be painless, the fatal blows don't even come until after we manage to land another crushing blow uppercut to this random kunglao individual. Using that, we were able to get even more devastating damage from just a regular uppercut, and then we went into the fatal blow combos between each other.
You shame our family name. Is it me, or could they be telling the truth?
Worry about it later. We have bigger problems.
You should have listened to your revenant counterparts. With this power, Kronika will remake history.
That was easy.
I, Geras, am a fixed point in time. With every death and rebirth, I grow stronger.
Fetch the Jinsei, chosen one.
You're good, but you're no great kunglao.
You've met my ancestor?
He stood a chance against me. You have none. Fight!
Alright, time for a fight against my new favorite addition to the cast from Mortal Kombat 11. Geras is an interesting story and gameplay for a character. Story-wise, having someone monitoring the timeline and protecting the events for every single version of the timeline is pretty cool. I like that outline for a character, and there's a lot you can do with that. And then they went a step further by integrating that into his gameplay, with him doing things like using the sands of time in combat and even stopping the enemy, freezing them in time while you attack them. Those are very nice details that are true to the concept of the character, and it definitely makes him feel fresh, and I always appreciate that in a franchise this old. Yeah, I like Geras quite a bit. Besides Geras, we also kind of have Skarlet making her first main roster appearance. I mean, besides being a DLC character back in Mortal Kombat 9. And besides her, we have 2 truly new and original characters for Mortal Kombat 11, being Collector and Cetrion. I think those are all the new characters that were introduced in this game. But yeah, Skarlet really doesn't count as a new character. But she is being in story mode for the very first time, and I think that makes it a little bit mention-worthy. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get rid of Skarlet from the list, and we really only have 3 new characters. I think Geras is the most interesting of the 3, although Cetrion is pretty cool, definitely my number 2, but I think more needs to be done with her. Now we'll be seeing her later on in this story mode, so we can talk about her more then. But then there's the Collector, who we've already seen. Collector is just kind of here to get his ass kicked and make the good guys look good. He does nothing important at all in the story mode. I mean, I think the most important thing he does is introduce a new Outworld species to the person playing the game. But then they don't do anything with that new species in the story mode, so it's like, okay, sure, why not? But yeah, the game would probably be exactly the same as it is if the collector were removed, which makes him just kind of a forgettable character.
I can't kill you, but I can knock you out.
You Shaolin monks exceed your reputation. I respect your spirit, but Kronika's will must be done. It's dangerous to let them live.
If they die, their revenant selves will cease to exist. We need them to defend the keep. Yet again, Liu Kang. You've chosen the wrong destiny. I now have the energy to re-sculpt the sands of time. The Neatherrealm's undead army will protect the keep as I work. Shao Khan, when will you deliver the Outworld army?
Soon. It will be mine once Kotal is killed.
And what is your progress, Sektor?
The Cyberlin factory is modified to your specifications. Production exceeds projections.
Lord Raiden, what did the Elder God say?
We must find Kronika, wrest the control of history from her. If we succeed, our destiny can change.
So what we were told is true? You were involved in our deaths?
Yes. Had the timeline continued, my decisions would have led to your deaths. But the Elder Gods assure me that such a future is not inevitable. This is but one of many possible timelines.
That is a lot to take on faith.
Rest assured, kunglao. I am aware now of what may come. I will not bring harm to either of you. You have my vow.
Thank you, Lord Raiden.
We must find Kronika's keep and strike it, as hard and as fast as we can muster, before all is lost. What have you learned about Kronika's effect on Earthrealm?
We're tracking sites around the globe with major temporal anomalies. Picture's still fuzzy.
Our kid's something, isn't she?
We see no patterns so
Oh, Cage. I'm not your Sonya.
Sorry. Too easy to forget.
We've prioritized info that correlates attacks from the Neatherrealm with time anomalies.
Helpful. But we have more to worry about than the Neatherrealm.
Yeah, we do. Grandmaster Subzero reports heavy losses to his Lin Kuei clan. The Time Merger has resurrected his old enemy, Sektor.
Sektor? Was he not the Grandmaster who years ago enslaved the Lin Kuei?
That's him. He's reactivating and upgrading the same factory he built to convert the Lin Kuei into cyber killing machines.
Undoubtedly, to construct new and more powerful cyber Lin Kuei. Kronika may seek to co-opt them. What of Sub-Zero?
Already on his way to shut down the factory. Grandmaster Hasashi is going with him.
Grandmaster Hasashi? Hanzo Hasashi?
Your hearing is failing, Sub-Zero.
I recognized your footsteps, Hanzo.
Where's Sektor? I will not let him threaten my clan again.
The old Cyber Lin Kuei factory was defunct, buried beneath this quarry. Until the time disruption. Now, Sektor's returned and reactivated it. He's building an army by processing Lin Kuei warriors kidnapped from my temple.
I can see why you need me.
We could enter through that tunnel, but a frontal assault would be...
bloody.
Needlessly dangerous. There's another entrance, less populated.
And the rest of your plan?
We get help on the inside.
We'll avenge your clan. Cyrax is your inside man?
He was converted against his will. If we disable the behavior inhibitors that control him,
he will turn on Sektor.
All Cyber Lin Kuei are linked to a common network. Cyrax can shut them down from within.
Who is the woman?
I don't know. Focus on disabling Cyrax. He's the key.
We require additional candidates for cyberization.
Once delivered, how long before the next generation is born?
Frost. I gave you a home. I was your mentor. Yet after all this, you ally with Sektor. He corrupted the Lin Kuei.
You corrupted our clan when you made peace with this Shirai Ryu filth. With Kronika's help, I will restore the Lin Kuei's honor.
Keep Cyrax alive. We need him. There is no future in which you are fit to lead the Lin Kuei.
You always doubted me, Subzero. Held me back. Kronika sees my true potential.
Fight!
And now we are facing off against Frost, who is making her first playable appearance since Mortal Kombat Armageddon. She was in the background of Mortal Kombat 10, but we did not get to fight against her, and we did not get to fight as her. So I like the design for Frost here more than I have liked her concept in any other Mortal Kombat game. In the old games that she was in, Deadly Alliance and Armageddon, she just looked like the woman version of Sub-Zero. There was nothing really to set her apart from Sub-Zero, except maybe having her hair literally be frosted tips. Now this modern look, being part Cryomancer as we've come to know it from Sub-Zero, but also part advanced version of the Cyber Lin Kuei, I think that's a very nice touch for her, and I think it is the best that Frost has looked so far. And this new half-cyberized version of Frost also allows the creators to repurpose some of the parts of Cyber Sub-Zero's movesets from Mortal Kombat 9. So yeah, I really don't mind this one. It's taking some old assets and then also giving a fresh design to a character that really just wasn't really distinguishable from Sub-Zero, and it's all around pretty good to me. Now, besides her look, there's also her personality, which has not changed whatsoever from the very last time we saw her in Mortal Kombat 10, and definitely has not changed at all from the old timeline. Now, in the old timeline, she was a very talented warrior who wanted to usurp Sub-Zero as the Grand Master of the Lin Kuei. Now, in the current timeline, guess what? She wants to usurp Sub-Zero as the Grand Master of the Lin Kuei. So yeah, Frost, even in this reimagined timeline, is exactly the same and super consistent. My only real gripe about this is the fact that still to this point in a brand new timeline, we really don't understand why Frost wants this so badly. We really don't learn any more about her other than, hey, I want to be Grand Master for some reason. So I guess that makes me the bad guy now.
You deceive yourself, Frost. The upgrade, Cyrax. Is this Kronika's doing?
To better serve her, Sub-Zero. We defend Kronika as she rewrites history.
So you're nothing but pawns?
We act to secure the Lin Kuei's glory in the new era.
Take the others. You've been enslaved, Cyrax. First by Sektor, now by Kronika. It ends today.
Fight.
So there is something in Mortal Kombat 11 that we will see that was also done quite a bit in Mortal Kombat 10. They would have you fight against characters in the story mode that were not playable roster characters. In the last game, that included Baraka, Rain, and Sindel. In this game, we are now seeing it being done again with Cyrax. And he will not be the only character that gets this treatment in Mortal Kombat 11. Also, similar to the last game, I find it really weird that the creators would make a fully functioning character and not spend just a little bit more time to make a complete character that, could be added to the main roster. It just seems weird to put that much work into something and barely do anything with it. With a random one-off fight in the story mode. And I even said this in the Mortal Kombat 9 videos, but I'm not like a super big fan of the cyborg characters. But even though I'm not a big fan, I would have loved having Cyrax added to the roster just to give it a little bit more variety. And I'm saying that especially because this version of him in this game could have been really cool. I'm seeing what they did with Frost and how they updated her. I would love to have seen an updated Cyrax. And it just doesn't really seem like it would have taken a lot to do it. Making him playable would have just probably required a few more assets being added to his current moveset, which, it's not a lot, but you got the full skeleton there. Just gotta add some skin to it. Wait a minute, that little analogy I did was way too biological. After all, Cyrax is a cyborg, so what would be more appropriate? I guess I should have said something like, all the nuts and bolts are there, we just have to actually do something with them. I guess that's kind of a more appropriate cyborg machine-related analogy. Whatever, you understand what I'm trying to say.
You will be freed.
Hurry, before we face more Cyber Lin Kuei.
You'll need a moment to initialize. Sektor, show yourself! Bihan?
Yes, it is I.
You were killed, swallowed in a storm of souls.
Quan Chi's creations do not die easily. Kronika offers me a new clan to lead. Its shadow will darken
to me.
You always mimicked me, but you make a poor Grandmaster.
I uphold the Lin Kuei principles I thought you shared.
Fight!
And now we are playing against a character who is making his first playable appearance since Mortal Kombat 9. It is the former Sub-Zero Bi-Han. Now, Bi-Han was transformed into the shadowy boogeyman character named noobsaibot. That was all done by the old necromancer Quan Chi, who was killed by Scorpion in the very last game. Now, this is a pretty cool reveal since noobsaibot was presumed dead after being kicked into a soul NATO by Nightwolf. After that occurred, it was safe to assume that noobsaibot would have been just torn apart by that experience. But I guess after 25 years, his body was able to pull itself together from the shadows and he eventually healed. Now we have little brother Sub-Zero versus big brother noobsaibot. And also that line from Sub-Zero stating that they may share blood but they are not brothers, that is not just some random badass line. That is actually something that noobsaibot said to Sub-Zero during their fight back in Mortal Kombat 9. So now Sub-Zero is sharing the same sentiment after all this time and referencing that very same line in this game. But yeah, ever since Mortal Kombat Deception, when noobsaibot was revealed to be the brother of Sub-Zero, he has pretty consistently been shitting on his little brother's attempts to follow in his footsteps. Except, trying to be the better version of Sub-Zero. Honestly, as much of a dick as he is being to Kuai Liang, I really don't blame him for giving up on his older brother.
We share blood. We are not brothers.
No. He ripped out my heart. Made me a machine.
Your soul is intact, Cyrax. Trust me. I speak from experience.
Kuai Liang. Is that you? You look so old. And Scorpion?
We'll explain later. For now, know we share the same goal. The Cyber Lin Kuei's destruction.
We need your help, Cyrax.
I can disable their communications network. It'll shut down this factory and every Cyber Lin Kuei connected to it. Frost warned me that you two had become allies. I did not think you capable of such dishonor, Sub-Zero.
Aid Cyrax. Sektor is mine. I've taken your head once, Sektor. I will do it again.
The past you know is no longer set. The Cyber Lin Kuei will usher in Chronica's new era. Fight.
Alright, here is another example of what I was talking about earlier. In the last fight, I was talking about how there are characters in this game that are fleshed out enough to fight against, here in the story mode, but they are not quite fleshed out enough to be fully playable roster characters. Just like with Cyrax, Sektor is another non-playable character that falls into that category. He has full combos, and he also has special moves, and he is fully functional enough that we are getting to fight against him here. But he is a non-playable character, and he's not even eventually introduced as a DLC character like Tanya was in the last game. And just like I said in the very last fight, it is weird that the creators would develop a character this much, but not do just a little bit more work to make them playable. In fact, hell, thinking about how crazy Mortal Kombat 1 is with the microtransactions just eye-gouging everybody, I'm a little bit surprised that WB did not try selling these characters later on as DLC characters, even though, they were already in the game and probably should have just been released as playable characters to begin with. It just would not surprise me at all to see them trying to make some extra money off of something that was already in this game.
finished.
I'm in. I'll reformat the system drives, shut us all down. Goodbye, Kuai Liang.
It is not the end. I will find a way to restore you. Anything is possible. Hanzo and I are living proof.
Please, don't bring me back as a machine. I can't live like this.
Machine or man, you have a warrior soul. As long as I am Grand Master, the Lin Kuei will welcome you.
Then until we meet again.
They've escaped. We should pursue.
First, we speak with Raiden.
Our Lady Kronika will get all the service she needs. But I can't quote a fee until I know the job.
You will see. Can you restore him?
There's some frame damage. Circuitry looks good. It looks like someone did a software wipe. Fixing that won't come cheap.
Once he is repaired, can he be replicated? Hundreds of times. Thousands.
That's a tall order. But anything's possible. With the right help.
Serve Kronika, and she will provide.
Take the deal. Trust me. Otherwise, who can you trust? You weren't kidding. It's like a mirror, reflecting the past. How about that? Over 50 and still a ripper.
There's still the matter of our fee.
We get paid in the new era. Kronika will make sure the Black Dragon come out on top. Not only in the black market, in every market. Right then, let's get to business.
You reach your dad yet, kid?
The network's still down. I hate being so far away. Dad must be climbing the walls.
Be patient. You'll get through.
I know my dad's still alive, but it's like I'm seeing a ghost.
You and me both. But they aren't ghosts. Oh, they're definitely real.
Can this get any more bizarre?
Oh, come on. Damn it. Come on. Come on.
Jackson Briggs. Do not fear. I have come to offer you a new life. A better life.
That's awfully generous, seeing as we never met.
We have not met. But I know you. How valiantly you have served. How horribly you have suffered. That was not my plan for you.
Your plan?
You were to retire distinguished. Not in disgrace. Years from now, General Jackson Briggs. More importantly, your daughter was not to serve, nor endure the same tragedies you have. Your home should be filled with grandchildren. Help me, and it will be.
All right, we will be stopping the episode here with that offer to Jax, who is struggling to hold it together after many years of military service and also being turned into an undead, brainwashed henchman for Quan Chi for a while. So yeah, he is struggling with all kinds of crazy PTSD, I am sure. Also, I find it a little bit weird that the first chapter of this game implies that Jax's service just recently came to an end. His commission had already come to an end prior to the very last game. So, in all reality, he has not been in the military in years. That's not important, just a random detail that I noticed. So, the plot of this game is finally coming together. All the villains are teaming up to use the liquid life energy of the Earth to supercharge the sands of time to rewrite history. Despite that discovery, nothing too monumental has actually happened in this episode. Like, we got to see Geras taking the life energy of the world back to Kronika, but that's about it. And besides that, we've mostly just been learning more about the people who are siding with the Time Titan Kronika. The only other monumental thing that we kind of did was temporarily shut down the cyber factory. And that's about the most summary that we're going to need for this so far, but yeah, I'm a little bit confused by the plan of Kronika, just a little bit, and some of the usage of the time stopping and rewinding. Like, why would Kronika need Kano to rebuild and replicate Sektor when she can rewind time? Like, you literally did a time rewind to rebuild the Revenant Castle back in the Neatherrealm. Just do that again, and then you get Sektor back, and then you get the Cyberlinkway factory back. I guess Kronika just doesn't feel like doing it again? Also, Geras could freeze time and stop Liu Kang and kunglao in midair, just freezing them there. Now, if he could do that, why not just go ahead and kill them? Like, they're way too big of a threat to just leave lingering around. And if you want to say, oh, we don't want to lose the Revenant versions of them in the future, that's kind of dumb. You still have Kitana leading the armies of the undead back in the Neatherrealm. You don't really need Liu Kang for that. And then you remove two of the biggest threats to your plan. In fact, why would you have to kill anyone if you could stop time? You could literally just freeze time, then go get the life energy of the Earth without anyone knowing that you did it because time was frozen, go all the way back to the hourglass, and just rewrite history without anyone knowing, and then boom, new timeline. Why do you need to do this whole mixing and matching of characters from across time, which then goes ahead and alerts people that something is going on? It just seems like you could have completed this plan completely uncontested and rewrote history on your own, but instead, Kronika is just doing some Wile E. Coyote shit, and then giving the protagonist a bunch of unnecessary chances to stop her. So yeah, Kronika might be kind of a really dumb villain. We will just have to stay tuned and see if all this unnecessary crap bites her in the ass later. For now though, this has been Thor's Entertainment, and I am Thor. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. In fact, I hope you enjoy the future videos as well. Until the next ones though, take care, and I will see you next time.
Collector wins.